What is up, guys? Welcome back to another wildrift League of Legends video, and today I'm gonna be analyzing the developer Q&A that Yikes recorded of the official 10-year anniversary Riot Games stream, and he was kind enough to put it on his on his YouTube channel so we could all check it out after if we missed the stream like I did. And yeah, I'll just be going over like the little details that I have personally noticed that tell us a little bit more about how the game's gonna actually be for us, how it's gonna be played, maybe about some macro stuff, how the macro is gonna be played. And yeah, I'm very excited for this. I already checked it out a little bit, so I prepared myself for this video, so I already know what I'm gonna talk about. And yeah, let's just jump right into it.
Everyone, please show some love for Feral Pony.
This video is gonna probably be a little bit longer because it's like a 15-minute Q&A, and I'm gonna talk about I think a lot of stuff. We'll see.
I don't know. That's weird. You can do it. Okay, all right.
It's kind of cringe
like a thing all the way through now. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hi. So obviously by now you guys know that League is coming to both.
I'm not sure, but as you guys know, I played League of Legends for like 6 years. I believe I have read the name Feral Pony a lot of times. This is the guy, by the way. Feral Pony is his name. And I believe I have read his name in a lot of... he also says that he that he did champion designs before this game for Riot Games. And I believe I have read his name in a lot of very positive context. I think he designed a lot of cool heroes, if I'm not mistaken, but I for sure have read this name, and I already had a positive
mobile and console in the...
What's it called? I had a positive outlook when I heard that he's working on it, so seems good so far, guys.
League of Legends
seems good.
Wild Rift. So I'm joined now by Brian Feeney, the design lead for League of Legends Wild Rift. It'd be weird if it was something else. To talk about what it took to rebuild League
good one.
from the ground up for new platforms. So, do you want to just introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you do, Ryan?
Oh, sure. So I'm the design lead on League of Legends Wild Rift. Obviously, it was just announced.
Yeah, Feral Pony.
Very early. Basically, that means
that's
we're
good.
For
I'm telling you guys, I think this guy knows his stuff.
Responsible for sort of the quality of the gameplay and sort of how it plays out. And
so we come to you if we're not happy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can just ping me directly.
Don't. Well, no, actually you do. So
I was gonna
bringing League to mobile.
I was gonna skip some stuff where they don't really talk about anything important, but I was like, people would rather just see the whole thing. So we'll play the whole thing. I'll pause.
I mean, what was it
when
like?
I have major thoughts.
You had to kind of go back and sort of rebuild it from the ground up, basically.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's entirely built from scratch, right? We knew a one-to-one port wasn't really going to work, and so we knew we had to sort of build it from the ground up to meet sort of both the quality and sort of visual fidelity and really get sort of like the authentic.
See here, you can already see that the map is very different. You can see by the placement of the Krugs and stuff, like it's all smaller, of course, just like we expected. If you put the whole map, the big map of League of Legends, you'll have 40-minute games. No one's gonna play that on mobile. So yeah, and it's good that they built it from the ground up, but he will tell more about why they did it later, and I'll get into those points later. But here you can already see they still kept the wards. You can see them here. This is the little health pack that I was talking about, the honey fruit, not honeymoon. Here's a ward, so yeah, seems good. There's no ward here, interestingly. There's a ward right here, I think, but yeah.
This is the awesomeness that players expect.
If you haven't checked out my last video, you stand on these and then you activate them for your team.
Love League, and we're trying to build this game for them first and foremost, but in a lot of cases it didn't really meet either their lifestyle was changing, they didn't have as much time as they used to, or even just you had a really long day at work and you just want to flop yourself on the couch, right, pick up a controller as opposed to sort of sit up in your standard workstation.
It's really hard with a mouse and keyboard. You knock over your tea.
Right, you can't play upside down either. That's really half the fun.
Good one, guys.
And also just the fact that hey,
we're waiting for the good part, right?
It's fantastic to sort of have a literal LAN party in your pocket.
For the infos, he gives a lot of really good infos. I was surprised.
Let's move on to something rather specific and very close to everyone's heart, which is champions, of course. So, I mean, what was it like bringing people's mains over to Wild Rift? I mean, That's a medium to large scale degree of pressure, I feel.
Oh, yes, yeah. I mean, League of Legends really is about the champions, first and foremost. I've spent a few years on League working on champion designs, and
You can see the graphics are almost not... Like, you almost can't keep them apart from the actual PC game. Like, it looks very...
I mean, we know how
looks very good.
champions mean to people, and like how critical it is that we really get these right and really just nail the authenticity here. So we just want to make sure that these really feel like their champion counterparts. Like if you're a main of a champion and pick it up, you want to make sure that you still feel like you're playing the same champion. There will be some differences, but you know we want to hit that feel.
And so what are the some of ways that you did?
Something I want to mention here, I checked out a video of Phy, Phy, I'll be linking it below as well. He actually tested out wildrift. He was at this event. He's a huge League of Legends YouTuber. I don't know, a lot of subscribers, a lot of views, and I think he's a Vayne main. I never checked out any of his videos, but he was explaining how he tested out Vayne and how he loved her because everything was the same. And if you guys don't know the hero, she basically has one ability where she pushes someone away. She's a marksman, and she like pushes someone away, and if she pushes them into a wall, they get stunned. And if you actually press the ability and the little bolt that she shoots is flying, and then you flicker or flash to the side, it will actually like it will change the trajectory where they get pushed. So you can, for example, the wall is here, the enemy is here, you're here, you shoot the ability and then you flash while the ability is in the air. He will get knocked into the wall. Very cool interaction, really cool for like every Vayne player knows it. It's really cool to play. And he said he was very surprised that they kept that in the game, and I was very surprised too. I thought they would take out a lot of these very cool interactions because they might be too hard, they might be too, you know, mobile gamers, you have to keep in mind that you gotta design it a little bit less hardcore than for a PC, but they are keeping the hardcore stuff. The guy also mentioned that they kept some animation cancels with if you roll into a wall, basically Vayne has a small roll. If you roll into a wall, you can cancel the roll with an auto attack, and it just, if you play it, you will notice it's a huge difference. It's much faster, and they kept that as well. So I feel like they will keep a lot of these really cool things. So I'm already very hyped about that because I was very scared that they would remove all of these like high-level interactions.
I mean, was it kind of difficult to streamline some of the champions' abilities for mobile and console? 'Cause I mean, obviously you had to kind of little bit, right?
A little bit. We actually didn't compromise too much, I don't think.
Yeah, he's right.
But I think part of the core of this
That's
is
cool.
like,
That's really good.
the word I wouldn't use here because that sort of means like you're simplifying or kind of like trimming down.
Like that probably means you can also flash the Fizz E, you know, when Fizz jumps on his pole, he's invulnerable, and then he drops down. And in pro play, it's a huge mind game of if he's gonna flash to extend it, or are you gonna flash away, is he gonna flash after you? It's crazy. It's like a really high level gameplay, and I think they're gonna keep all of that, so that's really exciting.
All right.
Really what we're doing is just making sure that we move them into the control scheme or the game pace or kind of changes, but we're still trying to deliver that really awesome, authentic League of Legends gameplay. So a few of the examples here. Example is Misfortune, right? The kit's basically the same, but her double up skill on PC is a targeted spell.
I was very surprised about this. This is huge. This is like way more range, but it is a skill shot. But if you guys didn't know, this is a marksman. She shoots a bullet with this first ability, and if it hits an enemy, it jumps. I think if it last hits an enemy, no, it just jumps to an enemy behind it, and the jump behind it does more damage. So giving her, like, she has literally 30% less range on the PC version on this ability. Giving her more range, like, it's insane. So I'm thinking they're buffing up a lot of these heroes that didn't feel strong enough for the mobile version when the game is faster paced and stuff like that. And yeah, it's good. I mean, this is gonna be really strong. Looks really
whereas in our
good.
game, it's a directional skill shot. Now this is a change we do all the time on PC. We've done it, I don't know, at least a dozen times since that I can remember. But basically, there's just a lot of other gameplay that we get out of it.
And it's cool that it's saying that they also tried this on
that
PC.
We actually get a thing that's better for the control scheme and better for overall gameplay. This allows her to do stuff like check brush, trying to hit a stealth champion that's sneaking around, or you can even do stuff where like a champion's kind of running at you, and you can fire the skill shot preemptively before they're in range to kind of squeak out some additional time and help you escape where you wouldn't be otherwise able to.
Okay.
There's another example, which is probably a little bit more extreme than that, which would be Vayne. We tried the same sort of skill shot approach on Vayne's Condemn, and there was a lot of problems, and actually didn't work out. So we're not doing this like all over the place, but in some cases we will. But a different example there is we're trying to stay away from sort of what we call dead buttons. It causes a lot of problems on controller and touchscreen.
That's really good.
So like Vayne has a true passive. It's just a button that doesn't do anything when you.
That's really good. Like this hero, as I was saying, this is the hero I was talking about. Her W is just a passive. You can't press it in League of Legends in the PC version. It doesn't do anything. So they want to give you they want to give you something to press, right? So they gave her a small ability. It sounds really cool. He will explain it soon. It sounds really cool. It sounds very useful. Also buffing up the hero a little bit, making her feel cooler. I assume they didn't wanna, like, if you would have, it would feel very awkward to have some heroes have 4 abilities on this layout, and some heroes have 3 abilities, and then also one of the abilities would be in a different spot and stuff like that. They're just trying. I assume they're just trying to make it feel as much as League of Legends as possible, and for that they could have just made Vayne have 3 abilities and move away the second, like the W, right? Just not even have it on the screen. But then it would just feel awkward for the PC players. It would feel awkward for everybody. So cool change.
And we actually added an active to Vayne's. So you still get the same silver bolts. It's a 3-hit that does a bunch of damage, and you can murder tanks and all that kind of fun stuff. But now when you hit Vayne's W, or her silver bolts, you actually get 3 attacks of small attack speed boost.
Okay.
And any silver bolts that you trigger actually vamp and steal a chunk of health from that you deal. And we think this can add a lot of additional gameplay and some cool outplay moments on Vayne. She's already a really high skill fantasy champion, but we think this can really kind of over deliver there. For Vayne mains out there who may already be jumping down this line of thought, there's some kind of shenanigans you can do where you kind of pre-stack and get 2 stacks of silver bolts on, and then activate your W, get the vamp, get another attack, use your condemn to get a
yeah, this is already detailed stuff. If you didn't play PC League of Legends, you don't have to. You'll see when the game comes out.
That may have sounded like complete rubbish and total nonsense, but I assure you it's pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
Some of the trickier ones to get right.
I think probably the hardest one, probably by a good margin, was actually Yasuo.
Really? How come?
So, I mean, he's one of those champions that has sort of very high sort of actions that you're playing. But you can see even on the screen here, like the dashing mechanics, you have to sort of dash precisely.
I think they remade the sound. I'm not sure, but I think the sound, the E sound is a little bit different than on PC, but I'm not sure.
Like
but it looks really good.
It's just really hard to
this hero is going to be so difficult to play.
Precision that you need. And so we spent weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months, sort of iterating and spinning on this to get it to feel like there's no changes at all.
I suppose it's like anything. It's like CG, right? If you notice it, then it's so much of your time and effort means that people don't notice that you've done stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of this project is like doing an astronomical amount of work to feel like you've done no work.
That feels a bit sad in this sort of weird way, but I mean, what can we expect in terms of the numbers of champs?
So if you were able to play earlier today, if you're
we already know that, like 40 heroes.
We had
yeah, it's actually found one more. It's 41 heroes.
We currently have about 40 champions good to go.
Champions, yeah.
So when we sort of go wider, obviously that's sort of a fun throwback to League of Legends having 40 champions on launch. That wasn't really the intent, that's just kind of how it shook out. And obviously we'll be adding more.
But they're leaking the in-game menu a little bit.
Yasuo is there. That's all anyone really needs to know. Right? It's fine.
One thing I will call out on the champions though is that we are not targeting exactly the same number of champions that we have on PC and Wild Rift.
Okay.
So obviously there's a whole bunch of reasons for that. Some champions don't translate particularly well. There's a whole bunch of other reasons.
Yeah.
But we are going to try to be adding more stuff in the future.
So he's pretty much saying they're not targeting, like, at least that's what it seems like. They're not, they don't want to have all the heroes from PC League of Legends, even like down the line in a couple of years, you know. So that's what I always said. Like, some heroes are just not portable. Kai'Sa, you cannot do the ult properly. It's just gonna be awkward. I'm sure they ran into this problem as well. Kai'Sa is this classic example. If you don't know the hero, just look at the gameplay. Look at how the ultimate works. You will understand pretty quickly that it's just not possible. Lee Sin, also kinda awkward, because you would have to buff him so hard because you don't have ward jumps, and it's a very key part to the hero. So stuff like that, they'll have to see how they do that. I assume they will add Lee Sin sometime, because Lee Sin is like one of the faces of League of Legends, I would say. It's the jungler's face, in my opinion. Kai'Sa, not so much. Kai'Sa is pretty cool, but it's not... They can do without Kai'Sa, but Lee Sin, they'll have to think about stuff.
And we all know what the champions will be like, but what about the gameplay on Wild Rift? Like, what can we expect in terms of sort of like, well, the map, for example?
So the map has sort of been, again, sort of rebuilt, redesigned. Will look and feel very similar, hopefully, but a lot of work, again, going into making it feel very similar. But the biggest thing here is really, it's like the game pacing, right? We're trying to deliver a real League of Legends feel.
By the way, he's gonna say that later, but the little dragon icon here, right here, and the Baron icon right here, it's because the map is, of course, flipped, just like in all the other mobile MOBAs, where you have like the major, the big objective, and the dragon on each side, right? And for the other team, it's flipped because you have the game mirrored, so you always play to the top, because it would be really annoying to play to the bottom, of course, on a mobile phone. It's even annoying in PC. Like, I know on blue side I perform much better than on red side on PC as well.
Within a 15 to 20 minute time window.
Okay.
So, and
it's just
part of
better
that is
to,
we actually shrunk the map
like, you
a
see
lot
more.
to kind of make this happen, get players closer together, a lot more skirmishing, a lot more fighting. And in this, obviously we shrunk the bases more than we shrunk the rest of the map, because for most of the combat spaces, and we want to keep as much of that intact as possible. So if you kind of look at the screen there, like, we don't actually have any, there's no inhibitors, there's no Nexus turrets, all that kind of stuff kind of got compressed inwards. If you take out an inhibitor turret, it's just the same as you took out the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor, and the Nexus itself will shoot laser beams. So don't be too shocked when you walk in there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the basic mobile MOBA approach. This is very standard. I mean, they couldn't really mess that up. Yeah.
Try to backdoor an undefended Nexus, and it just murders the hell out of you.
Oh, amazing. What's it like to lane in Wild Rift?
So, I mean, laning should, again, feel very similar, just it's a lot faster. I mean, you still have your same kind of, like, beginning.
I believe we saw minion waves sometimes. Like, the thing is, whenever I saw minion waves in the trailers, I'm not 100% sure, because, like, we're not sure if it's stacked or if it's one full minion wave. So the most important thing about laning is how many minions is it gonna be. If it's 3 minions, you're just gonna one-shot them, and there's not gonna be a true 1v1 laning phase in the mid lane, for example. Because if you look at all the other mobile MOBAs, you just clear the wave and you go roam, right? You help your other side of the map as a mid laner. As a top laner, you have some 1v1 laning, but it's way less than in League of Legends. In League of Legends, you have freezing, you have lane control, like you have to control your minion waves, like where it's gonna be at the tower, if it's gonna be close to your tower, if it's gonna be in the middle of the lane, if it's gonna be pushed into the enemy's tower. All of these have benefits and drawbacks, and it's so important to know these things. Like, it's crazy important. You can't reach a high rank without knowing about these things and abusing them to your advantage. And I would like to know how many minions there are. I think I saw 5. I think there's 5 per minion wave, or maybe 4, but I'm not 100% sure, as I said. But I didn't like dissect all the trailers. I didn't look at everything completely. But if it's 6 minions per wave, it's gonna be a true mobile experience, and I'm really excited to find out how they made the game faster then, because 6 minion waves it's gonna be really it's gonna be a true laning phase, which takes like 10 minutes. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how they did
Lane
that.
phase, mid game, end game, all that kind of usual stuff. But additionally, you will also have your same usual.
Because he doesn't really say anything about that. He said they have a laning phase, a mid game, end game. Yeah, AOV has a laning phase too, but it's just, you know, there's not really true laning. You know, if you ever play the PC MOBA, you will understand what I like. Even if you compare it to Dota, it's like, yeah, it's a big difference.
Suspects, right? You'll have your top laners, you'll have your mid laners, you'll have your bot laners, etc. You'll even have like your Teemos, right? Like all the usual laning types that you would expect in the League of Legends game.
And how also like how did the cameras work as well?
Yeah. So the big change on the camera.
I assume they're not finalized with the laning phase yet. That's why he's being so. How do you say? Like he's trying to not say a lot about it. I feel like. Because yeah, as I said, this is a very, very difficult. This is the most difficult thing to do right in a MOBA, in my opinion, in a mobile MOBA, because it's really easy to just make team fights good. You know, you just give cool ults and stuff, and people are just gonna 5v5 team fight, and it's gonna be cool, right? It's pretty easy, but the laning phase to make it a good amount of time where it's not too long, not too short, stuff like that is very, very difficult.
Is actually for Team 2 specifically, or Red Team, whichever way you want to frame it. The big thing here is the camera is always flipped, right? Because you can kind of see the way the buttons are laid on the HUD is kind of displayed. It's really important that most of the combat space is going up and to the right.
Yeah.
And all good graphs.
Something interesting here. You have 2 charges on the first ability of Ashe, which I don't think has multiple charges in the PC version, but I haven't played in a long time, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, interesting. We'll see about that.
Important that most of the combat space is going up and to the right.
Yeah.
And all good graphs also go up and to the right, but it's also true for combat space. And in this scenario, basically, what will end up happening is
here I was triggered because he's maxing E and it doesn't make sense. But
Dragon and Baron lane, if you're on Team 2, will actually be flipped because the map is mirrored. So that can take a little bit of getting used to if you have, you know, a lot of muscle memory and a lot of sort of expectations of like, hey, I'm a top laner, right? It's like really reframe it and think you're a Baron lane player or a Dragon lane player, and then adjust accordingly.
Okay, and I suppose we should talk about runes. I mean, do we still have them in Wild Rift?
Yeah, we do. This is one that I would say a system that is streamlined a bit, even though I said not to use that word earlier, but I would definitely use it in this case. We have a lot of the same usual suspects here for keystones. We think that's where sort of the majority of the gameplay was, so we wanted to sort of keep that.
This is very
And
important.
the rest of it we kind of trimmed down to a number of minor choices to try and capture and kind of augment and support playstyles. So these will look fairly similar to the minor runes on PC. But the main difference here is you'll see there's not a tree structure per se, it's just kind of you pick one from each row.
You pick one from each row. So if you look at this is like enchantments in Arena of Valor. This is like the emblem in Mobile Legends. This is like, I don't know what it is in Vainglory. But anyway, this is the keystones. You pick them, for example, this lightning, if you do 3 attacks on the enemy, 3 instances of damage, it will pop a lightning onto him for bonus damage. This is Aerie or something. I think it's called Aerie. It basically makes you deal more bonus damage on poke stuff. I think this is press the attack. After a couple auto attacks, you do something. All of these, phase rush probably. If you do a lot of damage, you gain a movement speed boost. Stuff like that. All of these are huge changes to your gameplay. And all of these small ones are stats, I believe. Most of them are stats or like more buff timing. I think this is buff timing, stuff like that, right? So they're not showing runes or anything like that. There is not gonna be runes. They removed those from League of Legends. I mean, I assume there's not gonna be. Maybe they will decide to not show them and then put them in the game anyway. I really highly doubt it though, because the whole game now on PC is balanced around these things. They removed the bonus stats of runes. So yeah. Now the thing is, this is very good for us as players. This is really great for us. We don't have to grind for anything stupid. We just play the game, we buy our champions, we are happy, right? We don't have to buy anything stupid that gives us stats, and if we don't buy them, the enemy is so much stronger than us. It's just so annoying. It's really annoying, right? It's really annoying. Like, I'm sure some of the Mobile Legends players might think, oh man, I want to try AoV. They try it, they see you have to grind runes, they quit instantly. Some of the AoV players maybe, oh man, I'll try some ML. No, you have to grind the emblem. It's really annoying. However, what the important part about these things is, if you have a system that you have to grind for in your game, it will make your players stick to it longer. So, for example, we all play AoV, right? It's my main focus, so I assume 90% of you guys are Arena of Valor players. And if a new game comes out, you are less inclined to switch away from Arena of Valor because you already invested so much time, you invested so much effort into grinding your Arcana, and you don't want to give them up, right? You're already the king, you have 20 full pages, you have crit, you have everything juiced up, you can play every hero, you have Arcana for it, you can, yeah, you know what I mean? So you are way less inclined to quit it. Even if there's no new game coming out, you're like, man, I already invested so much time, I want to keep playing, you know? You have everything juiced up, you know? You're so happy about it, you're not going to quit. And I really hope this game is not gonna fall to that, because I feel like on Myoji Arena, which is another mobile MOBA that I really enjoy, died out very fast because there is nothing to grind for. You just buy the heroes and then you just chill, you know? And if you want to quit, you're not like, oh man, I grinded all these Arcana, or like, oh man, but just one more week and I'm grinding another set of Arcana and then I can try all these new heroes, like Marksman maybe. So there's nothing like that. So it makes you quit the game way faster, which might not be an issue because this is Riot Games, this is a huge IP, no one cares, people are just gonna spam this, I mean I am, but you know, the normie trope, they quit games pretty fast, and I assume Riot is just gonna balance this out by adding a lot of new stuff all the time, maybe introducing esports, stuff like that, and it's gonna make it have more longevity. But in essence, a lot of people always flame the developer for putting in Arcana and runes, but it really is sometimes necessary for the game to be alive. And so yeah, maybe think about that the next time you see a system like that.
You'll see there's not a tree structure per se, it's just kind of you pick one from each row. And the main reason for this is, we think we captured the most of it, we really want you to be, you know, in the game as fast as possible and not sort of fiddling around in champion select and kind of undoing a bunch of decisions and micromanaging your build in that way.
And I suppose I have to kind of ask about the items as well. Can players still build all the swords and like all the boots and stuff that they love?
Pretty much, yeah. There'll be a lot of the same usual stuff as before, like, you know, your Trinity Forces, your Blade of the Ruin Kings, all that kind of fun stuff will be there. We also have a few new fun items. I think that will be kind of exciting to try out here.
This is cool.
But the single biggest change is active items. Okay. So on PC, you can buy...
So listen to this closely. This is the best solution I've ever seen for active items. You'll see it's really good. It's really clean.
6 or 7 active items if you count your trinkets as well.
You know how in you can only have one button for an active item, right? In these mobile MOBAs. Mostly, if you keep adding more, like if you allow Zed to buy Yomu's Ghostblade, Blade of the Ruined King, he's already hard. He's gonna have like 15 buttons. No one's gonna play that. It's just gonna be too tedious for a normal person. It's just not gonna be enjoyable, and this is very interesting. Yeah, just listen to what he says.
But the main difference here is that you can't add 7 buttons to a controller just randomly, and so we really want to make sure that active items are super critical to like that really authentic gameplay and that really cool kind of feel how you augment and adjust your character. So what we ended up doing was we said, hey, we're going to give you 1 active, and we already have 1 boot slot, so let's just combine the 2. So by the time you basically will build and you'll upgrade your boots to sort of tier 2 boots.
So basically, this means he's saying, you have the tier 1 boots, 500 gold. This is way more expensive than in the PC version. Then you have tier 2 boots. Attack speed boots are missing. Interesting. What other boots are missing? Cooldown. Magic Pierce is missing. or magic penetration in League of Legends. Interesting. So they're missing the offensive boot choices. And then this, I have no idea what this is. Very interesting. This is a new boot item. It's like a boot with a mouth. I don't know, man. Looks like some Halloween thing. Maybe they're gonna release the beta on Halloween cap. Anyway, very interesting here. So you buy these, then you buy these, and then late game you get the advanced. You probably have to pay more, and you can choose one of these actives on your boots. So that already tells me all these items are not in the game. I assume they gave you another item that gives you AP and armor instead of Hourglass, because yeah, you wouldn't buy Hourglass without the active, right? So you buy the actives here. And something very interesting as well, teleport is an active purchasable item. So this means you will not have early game teleport. So you will not have Cancer 5 people bot lane ganking you. You will not have you out-trade the enemy and then he just teleports back to the lane and he's full HP again and it didn't matter. So very, very clean choice to make this an item, because you have to pay 500 Gs, then you have to pay another 500 because I assume this 1000 is the total price for these, and then you probably have to pay more for this. So by the time you get the teleport, the laning phase is probably going to be half over. So the enemy already crushed you, especially because you're rushing boots, so you're going to lose anyway. And yeah, so very, very good. And this is really cool because, for example, if I play a mage, if I play something like Kassadin, right? I'll never buy this. Okay, this doesn't make sense. The Kassadin with a locket doesn't make sense, but whatever. You will never buy this item because this is a support item in League of Legends and it gives everyone around yourself and you a shield, okay? That's the active of it. And basically, you would never buy this on a mage, but maybe in some games you're like, oh man, they have so much AoE damage, right? I'll just buy it as a mage and I'll destroy the enemies with it, you know? Or maybe on a marksman. You would never buy this item. This is an AP and health item, and I think cooldown reduction in the PC version. And it gives you an active that makes you dash forward and then shoot a bunch of rockets in a cone in front of you. It gives you wave clear, right, basically. And it also gives you some team fighting ability, like it's good on some mages that want to go in. And you would never buy this on a marksman because it gives you AP. You would never ever buy this. So maybe there's some marksman late game you will decide, man, you know, I would like this active, but you can't buy it on yeah. Anyway, so that is really cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is completely new. We have never seen this. So that's interesting too. Maybe this is Randuin's, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm very excited about this system.
By the time you basically will build and you'll upgrade your boots to sort of tier 2 boots, then you can actually upgrade them into add any active that you want, right? Whether those are like Hourglasses or QSS or, you know, Protobelt. If you want to run Protobelt Garen, go for it. It's
yeah, this is what he's saying. Like, Garen is a tank. He would never build AP, and he's saying you could build that AP health item with the rockets that I told you about on him, and it actually makes sense. It's like Garen is like Arthur, so you can dash in further. It's cool, you know?
Just buying the active, there's no stats associated with it. So it kind of opens up the meta a lot and gives you a lot more freedom of kind of what to pick.
Really good, really good.
And obviously, so we talked about kind of running down enemies and destroying them. I think we should probably talk about how pretty it looks. It looks like it's a bit of like a new lick of paint.
I mean, it is definitely a new lick of paint that's sort of on top of basically rebuilt everything, right? So, again, this is sort of not a...
Yeah, it looks really good, man. It looks really good.
From the ground up. We're really focusing here on device
These models look better than in the PC version.
All these kind of things, and that
no
really
doubt.
made us kind of start...
Like, this looks way... Compare this to the PC version. She looks kinda scuffed, not gonna lie, because it's a 5,000-year-old hero, okay? Vayne. She came out when I was like a teenager, okay, boys? And I am like 40 years old now, you know what I mean? So, I mean, this looks way better.
Additionally, we're also, while we're doing this, we thought, hey, why not update some of our older designs? So you'll see some champions such as like Earth skins like Angle or Jax.
This looks so good.
It was a skin that was totally fun and great in 2010, 2011, whenever we shipped it. But we thought that it could really use kind of an update and sort of a brand new kind of, you can see it here, it's pretty sick. But it's capturing a lot of the same feel for Fizz. I like that little guy. But this is sort of an example.
It looks really good, man. This skin.
We kind of just decided to, hey, while we're at it, we're building it anyways, let's just update it.
I mean, why not? You might as well just go the whole hog. I want to know a little bit about, what about the turntable that we saw in the video? Kind of what's that all about, the kind of new virtual wardrobe?
Yeah, so the turntable was actually one of our, I think, it was sort of a little surprise of a feature, right? We sort of started building it, and then we're like, this is actually really, really cool. So we kind of went all in on it. But obviously, when players are used to League of Legends, mostly what they're sort of
this looks so good, man.
You kind of realize what the champion looks like and should feel like in sort of in the splash art.
Yeah, here he's basically saying, you know how a lot of mobile MOBAs lately put the 3D graphics, when you browse through your heroes, they put in the 3D models and they're super crisp, super high quality. And they also updated those in King of Glory, they updated those in Arena of Valor lately. So they're all adding these and updating them and stuff. And I feel like they just have to go with it as well. Because I never felt like, wow, man, I can see the hair of Arthur on his, like, I don't know, man. I don't care about that stuff. I just want to play the game, you know?
Or
I just like the gameplay.
We're totally keeping them.
I mean, it looks cool. It's good for the normies, again.
Sweet. But we also thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of give players the
skin is so good, dude.
Champion in
the Garen skin is so good. It came out like 7 years ago and it was so good, even back then.
Like, what is this character about? And we think we can really capture these in some of these really cool little animations that really.
This looks really good.
You know, deliver who the champion really is.
Oh, it looks amazing.
This looks really cool.
Very pretty. I love Poros too.
We're just going to watch it for a while on stream. Just keep watching. Oh, amazing. So what can we expect from Wild Rift in the future, and obviously in the lead up to its release? Any kind of little surprises maybe you can share with us now?
I mean, maybe something comes out in the Q&A later, but I mean, right now there's like obviously a ton more that we want to show. We'll be communicating a lot more as we sort of move forward on the game in the coming months. Obviously, if you were on site early, hopefully you got a chance to play. If not, you can jump in right now to the, if you're on an Android, Google Play has pre-registration up right now. Okay. Obviously, other platforms will have that available in the future.
I'm going to skip some, I don't think they say.
Please, like, the feedback and the reception so far has been really
I will just watch Studio.
So, yeah, please keep coming. If you have thoughts, feedback, questions, etc., please send them over. You can use boards, tweet me, whichever. But again, this has just been so awesome.
Also, listen, this guy, like, he's saying now you can tweet him, blah, 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 and you know, when you watch something like that, you're like, oh man, he's not gonna respond. Why would he respond? He's busy with his stuff. But he actually, like, he commented on Yikes, on this very video of Yikes. Yikes, as I said, I'm gonna post this video in the comments. He basically recorded the whole stream, cut this video for us. Thank you a lot, Yikes. I hope you're fine with me reacting to this. Anyway, so he actually commented, this developer guy, right, Ferropony, he commented on a lot of questions in Yikes' video. So it's already a lot of community interaction. So I'm loving it so far.
Guys, so much for all the support you put into League of Legends. We wouldn't be here without you, and this has been amazing.
Yes, definitely. It must be so nice, especially having to keep everything quiet. I don't know how they keep everything quiet for so long.
I mean, I was in a dungeon for 3 years on this project. I'm really so glad to be out.
Yeah. You're like daylight.
Yeah, that's insane. They really
have some
covered it up.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. So, question number 1 is: can we link our accounts to get the champions and skins that we have?
So you will be able to link your accounts, but we're not going to do sort of one-to-one inventory sharing. And there's a few reasons for this. The biggest one is basically that we're not going to have content parity, right? We're not going to have every skin. We're not going to have every champion. Yeah. And so we want to make sure that we're being equitable and fair to the players that have invested. And so what this means basically, hey, if right now, like I'm in a Bard main on PC, the Bard's not in Wild Rift, right? And if I put all my money into Bard and I would get nothing, that would feel really bad. Whereas if I played a champion that was in our launch roster. But that being said, we will make champions like pretty accessible. You'll get a lot of champions to sort of level up, and we'll also, when you do the account linking, we will also give you rewards based off of your investment, so you can jump into Wild Rift with like a really big head start.
Okay, cool. So also, question number 2 is, will you be able to play the game through emulators, mouse and keyboard, and if so?
So basically, if you have a PC account, you will get some juice, but he's saying you won't even require the juice because, as I said, you won't need Arcana. You can get a lot of heroes for free in these, like even in every mobile you start and you do these quests, you play some games, you get heroes thrown at you, and then he's saying they won't be that expensive. So I guess they're just trying to make money with the skins, and I think they will, because the skins look really good in this game. And yeah, so basically he's saying if you have an account, you won't just get everything, but you will get some juice, you know. And now she's asking about Emulator, and you guys already know what I think about this. A lot of people are very misinformed who never played mobile MOBAs. She probably never played them, so she can't know. Mobile MOBAs there's no advantage. It's not an FPS. There's no advantage to playing it on an emulator on PC. You can allow that. There's literally no issue. It's actually a drawback because they're designed to be played with 2 fingers. I play them with 3 fingers, with the index finger on the minimap. And the mouse is only 1 finger, guys. And so you have to move with WASD, so that's only 8 directions of movement available. So it just already puts you in a disadvantage. And he says, he's trying to be nice, I think, because he says, yeah, maybe you can hit your skill shots better. You really can't. The finger, it's smoother on the phone. Like, it's meant to be played that way, and it is the best experience to be played on a console or on a phone. And yeah, like there's no issues. If you're watching this, if you somehow found this in your YouTube algorithm, as a PC League of Legends player, and you're afraid of you playing this game in your lunch break at work, people are styling on you playing at home on their emulators, do not worry, this will not happen. There's no issues. There's no advantage to playing it on PC.
How do you keep it fair?
So this is a really good question, right? Especially when you look into multiple platforms, like how do you keep kind of competitive fairness and competitive integrity? And so obviously we're not going to there's no current plans to basically build a PC client for Wild Rift. There's a lot of fantastic emulation software already out there that pretty much works on all the devices. So if you really want to play Wild Rift on your computer, you can totally do that. I would also say we also have League of Legends on your computer, which is also really good. So
yeah,
you can play that one too.
It's quite good.
In terms of like the sort of competitive fairness,
yeah.
I mean, this game was built from the ground up for twin stick. And like all the skill sort of support, all the tuning, all that kind of stuff. So I actually don't think right now that keyboard and mouse will give you very much of a competitive advantage. You're usually kind of trading sort of fidelity and the ability to precise. You're getting a little bit potentially of like aiming your skill set slightly better, but you're losing a lot of like movement fidelity. As an example, because like a joystick is just a lot easier to move around and sort of carefully precising than sort of trying to right click.
Yeah. And then the third and final question, which is probably the most direct. Yuumi and Wild Rift when?
So, I mean, we got Garen, so I mean, it's like half the combo right there. But I mean, right now, there's a lot of characters we've already announced. We're going to try to shoot for about 40 when we start going wider to players, but we're not ready to announce what champions in particular we have.
I feel like that's giving things away with your face right now.
Am I?
I don't know. I like to read into things a bit too much, perhaps, when I interview people, and then make them really awkward. So, well, thank you so much. But you guys, we've got one last game spotlight for you, which is the Legends of Runeterra.
Okay, we don't care about card games. Anyway, yeah, I am very excited about this. This was a really great, little fan service they did. They showed a lot of stuff. They showed so much stuff already, and it feels like, you know, the more stuff people show about their game, the more you're only gonna show stuff that is confirmed. And they showed the map, so that's confirmed. They showed a lot of heroes, so they're confirmed. He already said 40 heroes at the start, that's confirmed. He showed the items, that's confirmed. He showed the the rune system, that's confirmed. Now what, right? There's not much left, so I'm hoping for an early 2020 release. Let's all pray for that, or maybe at least the beta. Please, guys, listen. I know you're not gonna watch this, right, guys? But listen, please don't just do the beta only in China. We can give you some useful info, I think, to the Western normies. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoy making these in-depth videos where I just ramble on about like little details that I notice. As I said, I really truly enjoy these the most. And yeah, if you have any more content that I should analyze, or whatever you want to call it, about this game or any other game, let me know in the comments below. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Check out Yike's channel, check out the Wildrift channel, and yeah, peace out, boys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.